So instead of making the regular update, I'm actually going to bring out an idea this time, and it's not going to be generally about Warlords of Draenor. It's more precisely going to be about the Twinking. So this is Chanella from Wizardbane, as you may all know, and my suggestion is actually quite simple. Now, the problem with Blizzard is they do not focus onto the Twinking community. Basic reasons because if they would, then they would have to put a lot more time into getting the Twinking community their satisfiement as well. Now, the easy way to get a solution for this is by basically allowing us to go into different content without actually having to, make it more difficult. For example, we do ICC now as level 70s, but we actually have it scaled up for level 80s, which isn't really what I'm after. Now, what I'm trying to say is, considering Blizzard's thinking, they want to focus on endgame because that's where the most people are. And most of the other people have alts, or, well, most of the twinks actually, their alts are their twink, and their main character is still in the end game. So therefore I admit, yes, keep on focusing on to the end game is what most people play the game for anyway. But to get us twinks to some interesting features, it might actually work out to do with the things that they've already implemented, the scaling down of items, the scaling down of dungeons, the scaling down of raids. Now this might just work perfectly fine because they've already implemented the scaling down features. For example, when you go into challenge modes, when you go into arenas, when you go into certain things like the proving grounds, for example, every item gets scaled down to a certain level. Now this might work as well for the Twinking community. Now what I'm trying to get after is to get us into more different kind of aspects into the game, more variety of things we can get without actually having to get Blizzard into doing more effort for us. Now all this would take is actually very simple changes, very simple changes actually, because all they would have to do is just scale down the raids to appropriate level that you are, the round levels, level 60, 70, 80, 85, and focus actually around that level to get everybody up on that thing. As well as for the items that drop in there, so it wouldn't be futile to go in there and just kill it and saying like, alright, we've killed everything, now what? We've got nothing. We've got an achievement, we've got a kill, we've got to murder the Lich King, and now what? We've got nothing else to do. We didn't get any gear, we didn't get any useful items. Now, the way to solve this as well is actually scaling down, but people might abuse the system. For example, like get a level 70 groups all together, do some heroic ICC, and then join, and then level up to 80 to get it continued. Now I was thinking more of, how about the items that you get scaled down to the level that you are. For example, you're level 60 and you are doing Onyxia level 80. So you get items of Onyxia level 80 and they get scaled down to level 60. And you just suddenly think to yourself, well, I'm bored of being level 70, I'm bored of being a level 60, I'm going up to level 70, and you level up. Now the items that you got in Onyxia will remain scaled down at level 60 path, so we will be stuck onto that scaling down level. Therefore you cannot abuse the system. You cannot take loot from higher rates and then level up to that appropriate level and still be like best in slot for that level. No, it would be different. Now the good part about all this is that they wouldn't have to put effort except for implementing the scaling down for the lower rates and for the items. But apart from that, they wouldn't have to do anything much, and it will allow us to do more content, which is what we are looking for. We are looking for more content, more difficulties, and it would allow us to do that content without actually having to get an entire team into the World of Warcraft, into Blizzard, to focus onto the Twinking community. Instead, they can just take out already outdated current content, but already outdated content at level 80 and level 85. For example, if you want to do Bastion of Twilight, we do it appropriate for the level that we are. Therefore, it would indeed, as I said before, allow us to do more content without them having to do too much work. And I think this will satisfy a lot of the twinks in general. Not only would it allow us to get more variety in raids and more variety in what we can do PvE wise, but also give us more variety in best in slot items, give us more variety in items that we get in general. Now, I think that I should implement more than what there is. So, considering that the best in slot items now currently have an item level of, for level 70, which is what I'm most known about, would be the 164 Guild Jaden items. Now my thought would be if for example went to Bastion of Twilight, items of, well, let's say 167 would drop, so a little bit higher, a little bit better, but not basically best in slot, just items, so they would be appropriate and could possibly be wearable for you and be actually usable for you as a character, as a twink, and in that way it might actually work out quite well. So the variety of items, the variety of raids. Now, this is purely PvE wise, isn't it? So, I was actually thinking PvP wise as well. And considering that part, first off we have the PvP raids as well for, I can't remember the names, but it was somewhere in Wintergrasp for Wrath of Lich King. And there were all ones in, I can't remember the name, Tol Barat, I believe, for Cataclysm, where you had these raids and they would drop PvP loot. This might actually work for the PvPs as well, but not only that, because right now PvPers want to PvP, obviously. They can do arenas, they can do battlegrounds. I was thinking, why don't we allow all the battlegrounds on all levels? Let's just say, if you lock your experience, you might actually get to experience the other battlegrounds as well, because the battlegrounds are there and we want to experience them, but we can't, and we will never do so either, because we are stuck at the level that we are, which makes us a little bit limited into everything we have. And I want to break that limitation, allow us to do more without bringing too much effort into the Blizzard's employees as well. So this would actually be, to me, so in my option, in my visual perception, this would be a perfect solution for everything, for the twinking community in general, without allowing any kind of abuse into the system. And I think it would, I think a lot of twinks would agree on me, several will not, but I would like to hear why, so you can drop that in comments below as well. Now what this would mostly allow us to do is actually bring out the more satisfiements into people, that instead of creating alts doing endgame again, they can just create a twink and do the altered content as well, and see it as if it was current content, as if it was a real challenge. Because right now, if we are level 70 and we do Sunwell Plateau, well, we can 15 man it, we can 10 man it, and it's a 25 man raid. Back then, even one person, only 1% of the player base had to see it. Now, we take 10 players, we do it, bim bam, it's dead. That's boring, it's dull. And so I was thinking the new raids, the scaled down raids, should be a little bit more, well, I say, competing, should be a little bit harder, more challenging to take down, and therefore give us a little bit better, for example 167 and highest 170 maybe, but just allow us to get that more things onto us, just allow us to grasp onto more items. It would greatly increase not only just the twinking but also the subscription amount, because people are also interested in getting new things to be done, and actually this is doing new old things in a new way, and I think it might actually work, but I would like to hear what you think of it. So this was quite a long video as well. Well, anyway, do leave the comments in the comment section below if you do have anything to add here, just like what are your thoughts about this, and that's about it really. So do subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time probably. See ya.